Good morning, and let the Monday morning ruckus begin. I am Jay Cleveland Payne here, bringing you things you might have heard for Monday, November the 7th, 2022. That's the day that we're bringing this. These are news stories from the past weekend, so going all the way back from Friday up until about an hour ago when we did here. We cut these things off at about 5 a.m. every single weekday morning to give you the day's worth of news. Today, we're giving you 3 days plus worth of news. So we have 10 stories for you. And we want to thank everybody who's checking us out, whether live or on the expanded universe for Mondays, where we broadcast to all my Jay Cleveland Payne pages. So my Facebook page for Jay Cleveland Payne, me, my YouTube page for Jay Cleveland Payne, me, and my LinkedIn page, which I'm not sure if anybody's even paying attention to it, but it's there. We're trying, we're broadcasting alongside the conversation projects pages. Make sure you are following us for 5 days a week coverage if you're on those pages at our main pages for the Conversation Project. And you can find those links at the main website. This is a conversationproject.com. Also, links for various sponsors, partnership opportunities, and some other things we're doing around the corner. So check it out. This is a conversationproject.com. And let's get into the news stories today. 10 stories from the top 30 over for the past weekend. I'm sorry, for the past weekend. About 93 stories posted total. These are 10 stories from the top 30 that you said were most conversational. Not necessarily the top, but we'll talk about those as we go through them. Starting off with this story here. Valerie Bertinelli trolls Elon Musk on Twitter. Now, what did she do specifically? She became Elon Musk. She put a mask on and had an Elon Musk mask and walked around Twitter saying, "Hey, I'm Elon. Check me out. I have a funny accent. I have lots of babies, blah, blah, blah." What she did was something a lot of people did over the weekend, including Kathy Griffin. Exactly. A lot of people over the weekend used their verification status because they are verified and just changed their name and their profile to someone else and put out false information. So Valerie Bertinelli was one of the people who called herself Elon Musk for a while and said, "See how easy it is." Another person who did the exact same thing was Kathy Griffin, who got her account suspended. Now, that's probably because she's Kathy Griffin. And Elon Musk says, "Oh, she can have it back when we're all done." But this basically pushed back the idea that Musk was going to sell the verification check marks for $8 a month. Sounds like a pretty cheap deal. Sounds like a good idea, an easier way to get verified, because verification isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do if you're just a normal dude in a small town kind of area. We had people from the radio stations who working to get their verifications, and it was kind of a struggle to prove that they were these local DJs, because it was, smaller market, as opposed to Valerie Bertinelli, who is a famous person, Kathy Griffin, famous people, lots of famous people. They have people to work these things out. So the blue check mark is going to be postponed, at least the $8 blue check mark postponed until after the midterms, because, hey, I could pretend to be Kevin McCarthy and say that, Joe Biden is evil. I love Trump. Hail Hitler. You could do that. You can still do that. But anybody could basically pay in and do that, and then you would be hard to track it from there. The Russian and Chinese bots could do that. There's a thought. Let's move on to the next story. Aaron Carter, singer and reality TV star, found dead at 34 in California home. Aaron Carter made a big return to the news last weekend, come Friday, when he was pulled over for suspicion of DUI while driving an RV. And then come Sunday, he was found dead in his home. Lots of tributes going out to Aaron Carter, lots of thoughts and prayers to the family. And there was a very touching and a very just sort of on the nose tribute given by his older brother, Nick. Remember, Aaron Carter was, childhood royalty. Bieber thought he had it good. This guy had it great. At 9 years old, he was an opening act for the Backstreet Boys when they were in their prime, because he's one of their brothers. He's had a great run and doing his stuff in music. He had a great run doing Broadway stuff. Had some issues, and now we'll find out more about the details of his passing going forward. Right now, no suspicion of foul play. Nothing bad is expected, but we're going to find out more coming soon as they go deeper into this. Just found him yesterday, so we're going to find more about this coming soon. Philadelphia is first city to lose two major championships on same day. The first championship was baseball. The Philadelphia Phillies lost to the Houston Astros last week. And on that same day, irony or coincidence, who knows, the Philadelphia MLS team was actually up for a championship that same day, and they happened to lose it as well. So congratulations to the winners. Unfortunately, Philly has to take the L in these two. It happens. You can't win them all. Try to, but you can't win them all. Tell that to Tom Brady, who is doing his deal. Powerball Saturday numbers. Biggest lottery prize hits 1.9 billion. Why? Because no one wanted its Saturday's numbers. So come today, another shot for your Powerball, which should probably be at 2 billion by now, based on a couple of days worth of ticket buying. Gives you a chance to win that. I'm guessing a lump sum will probably be about 6 to 700 million at this point, about a third of the big thing. So if you still want a chance to win, even though it won't be you, you have a few hours to go get yourself a ticket and sit by the TV and see what's happening. You have a chance if you have a ticket, but you have no chance because you're more likely to fall down a crater into a volcano while standing in the middle of the ocean than winning the Powerball. Yes, something like that. El Paso students must retake SATs after exams flew out of UPS truck. This is a story that took a while to develop, took a while for people to understand, but by the time we really got a gist of it and put it in for the weekend, you guys responded to this. A truck driving literally a truck with the paper ballots for the SATs for students in El Paso. UPS truck, a guy driving down the street, and a box flies out of the van, and the ballots get lost and can't be recovered, which means the test did not happen. A bunch of students in El Paso must retake their SATs. The stress of taking the first time, even though what use it is also debatable right now. The stress has to come over again because not their fault. Their dog did not eat their homework, but the UPS truck lost their homework, and so now they have to reschedule that. What is going to do for the actual schedules for things going on, whether they're going to get their college admissions in on time, whether they have deadlines for things like that. That is the biggest problem here. Yes, it sucks they have to retake their SATs and that they don't understand that, but what's the ripple effect of that? And there's literally nothing anyone can do about this but have them retake those tests. Let's move on to another story. HBO canceled Westworld before what was to be its final season. A lot of people are kind of divided on this one. Many folks say that Westworld, the HBO version, the HBO serialized version, the episodic show of which is inspired by the movie, inspired by the story book, wasn't very good anymore. Got all weird, and so people are kind of off on it. A lot like people got kind of weirded off on Lost after a little bit, maybe Heroes, things like that. Things that are high concept that get kind of kneecapped because of different things. Westworld was one of those stories, one of those shows that were essentially losing its luster. And so before they could finish this final season, they got canceled. Now HBO Max is canceling a lot of things. HBO, Warner Brothers, Discovery, all this stuff, since they've merged into this greater Voltron thing, are basically cutting all the costs they can. And this is a cost that is cut. Did you think Westworld was going well, or did you think it probably needed to be put down itself? Give us a comment as you see this or hear this, wherever you see or hear this, and we'll chat about it offline. Or technically online, but offline for this particular issue. Check out the link for Britney Spears. She revealed to her fans this week that she has incurable, you can't cure it, nerve damage. This is goes along with sort of the seriousness that is the now turning into a downfall for Britney Spears. After all the hubbub and hullabaloo about getting out of the conservatorship and getting out of the being held down by her father all these years, we're finding a lot of real serious tragic things going on. She's got issues going on. She's got issues with family, issues with friends, issues with her health. And we are learning some of the dark side of things that we didn't hear about because we're focused on the shiny object that was the conservatorship. And let Britney be free, let her do her music, let her dance with snakes, let her do naked things. And there's some other things going on, not that they're necessarily related, but they are of course a part of the ethos that is Britney Spears. They are a part of her. Check out the link and go deeper into the story for what's actually going down and see how things are working. Thoughts and prayers to Britney Spears and all around her, even if some of them are against her. This is something that, is basically a running joke. New York Marathon, Kenya's Evan Chebet and Sharon Lote Kudi win pro races. Yes, The Kenyans won the New York Marathon. Yes, the Kenyans won the marathon. Yes, it is. Yeah, 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 yeah. But it's one of those things that are of interest that pop up every single year, and it's one of the things that, oddly enough, help fund the government of Kenya. The reason why people in these places, these athletes, work so hard to win these things is there's prize money for it, and the prize money goes, a lot of it goes back to the nation, Kenya, and their runners and their athletes. They win this big prize money, send it back home, literally send it back home to help take care of everyone. And now, while LeBron James can start a school and make some charities, he's not funding the entire nation of people based off his salary. He probably could. So, I help out a lot of folks that way, but he doesn't have to. This is something that's there. Congratulations to the Kenyans for, once again, proving they're better marathoners than us in the U.S. And Dolly Parton is making a rock and rock album in honor of a rockin'. Dolly Parton is making a rock album in honor of her Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. If you got a chance to see some of this stuff on YouTube or live, you got the chance to see a show with Dolly Parton over the weekend. There were a lot of people who, of course, who actually were put in the hall this weekend. It's basically a fraternization of people who are big music folks getting together. Some people use their platform to speak their minds. Some people didn't quite do a great job getting it done. Duran, little struggles on their stuff going forward there. But Dolly Parton had a great old time as she literally fought to be put on the docket, fought to get the award, didn't want to show up, didn't want to be it, says she's not rock and roll, she's country. And you got a chance to sing Jolene with Judas Priest, Judas Priest's Rob Halford, Pat Benatar, Brandy Carlisle, Annie Lennox, and a whole lot of more famous, really famous folks. Congratulations to all the honorees from last night, all the honorees in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and some special love to Dolly Parton, who basically no one can hate. I don't know if you hate Dolly Parton, there is something you cannot have a soul, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, we're going to wrap up with this one. This was actually the most engaging story over the weekend by leaps and bounds. I'm going to see if I can pull the stats up very quickly because it is amazing how many people engage in this one. And we posted it on Middle Saturday just to kind of kill the time, if you will. This story had 20%, 19.5% of all engagement over the weekend. And it was more people responding to this story than the number 2 story of the weekend, which was Valerie Bertinelli trolling Elon Musk by about 50%. And that is that Bad Baby gives a speech at Oxford University about making $50 million on OnlyFans. Bad Baby, the rapper who was spawned by Dr. Phil by saying "Cash Me Outside" or some mumbling of that, is now a really, really, really no. Well, she's still a really annoying person, but she's now Oxford bound. She's giving speeches at Oxford University on the business school about how she made $50 million and how she made that on OnlyFans. I'm not sure if this is one of those signs of the apocalypse, but it is pretty interesting. And no knock against her making her money, getting that cheddar, getting things done, because who am I to mock OnlyFans people for making millions of dollars and going to Oxford University to say to talk about the spoils that they've gotten? I'm just saying what I'm just saying, and I'm just gonna just say it. And there we go. Let's talk about teasing. We could talk about this story tomorrow if you like. Ben Shapiro publicly scolds Candace Owens for garbage tweets. Owens fires back, "You have my number." Check this out. There's a little beef between these two people, and they both work for the Daily Caller. They both work for the same media entity. But it's one of those things where I believe that Candace Owens is a straight up grifter. Ben Shapiro, also a grifter, but more in the lines of a Rush Limbaugh, specifically just trying to make some people angry so he gets some views and clicks, as opposed to Candace Owens, who knows she doesn't need to be there, but it's going to make her matter anyway. We can talk about the rift between them because this thing is not a new thing if you want to. And it's simple. Go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter and engage in the story as it gets posted. Like it, love it, hate it, share it. Our feeds are on Facebook at facebook.com/This Is a Conversation Project and twitter.com/the th_conversation. All our news stories, every 50 minutes, we post brand new news stories to the feeds. If you think they're engaging, if you think they're interesting, if you want to chat more about them, just engage with them, vote them up. And tomorrow through Friday, we'll go through the top we'll go through 8 stories from the top 15 stories. You get about 30 to 33 stories within a Tuesday through Friday. So we'll take the top half of those and pick 8 from those to present to you. Today we presented 10 to more folks because we had more to pick from, and hopefully the ones we picked were the ones you enjoyed. If we're not picking stories that you think we should be chatting about, just reply in the comments and we will do our best to do our best. Now, let's talk about investing to do your best to make investing simple. It is still simple, it is still active, and it still is more or less free if you use the Robinhood app. Robinhood app allows you to invest in all the stocks and all the bonds and all the crypto, well, not all the crypto, but a bunch of crypto that you like. They're getting more and more engaging because all of these companies are having issues with people investing, period, and using their apps specifically because we're not sending Doge to the moon anymore, or shooting up GameStop stock stonks because we're trying to show the man and make quick money. Stock investing is serious, and you could lose money in the effort, but you could also gain money for investments. One of the weird things about saying you're doing passive income, you have to do something that's actually going to make income or put some work into it. The closest thing to something like passive income is investing in something that makes you money. So you have to invest in things, and then you have to do the work to make sure it's still actually making you money. Use Robinhood as a way to start your investment journey. It's simple, and they'll give you a free stock just for free full share stock just for joining. You probably won't get Apple or Intel or things like that, but you probably will get something that will be worth your while. Check it out at thisisaconversationproject.com/Robinhood. This is a conversationproject.com/Robinhood. Remember, you could lose money on these deals because it is an investment. Nothing is guaranteed, as we are now learning. And so be careful, be wise. Don't bet the farm on it, but take your time and use whatever investment strategy you want to for yourself. This is an affiliate link, so we get a bit of a commission for you using this link, but we want you to check it out at Robinhood. This is conversationproject.com/Robinhood specifically. They're taking good care of me, although all stocks are down. It's the stock app that I use. Let's talk about the Conversation Project. This is a Conversation Project is the home for the Conversation Project, and it is where you get things like things you might have heard, the weekly wrap up, you're welcome, the commentary coming soon, and a lot of other great things from us. If you enjoy what we're giving to you in the way of news and commentary, if we're giving you good value, good content for you, stop by our website and visit our links for our sponsors or for our partnerships. You can find other sponsors that cost you nothing extra to help us out, and ways to partner up with us directly to keep the lights on, if you will. Check them out, and also check out other great things we're doing there at the Conversation Project. Our website, this is conversationproject.com. Today, things you might not have heard about include birthdays on the day. You don't know what you got till it's gone, and thank God she's not gone yet. Joni Mitchell, 79 years old on the day. Christopher Knight, Peter Brady, the real Peter Brady, not the fake Peter Brady that we call Seth. Christopher Knight, 65 years old today. I don't know why I'm stretching there. And Morgan Spurlock, who is the star of the documentary film Super Size Me and other documentary things, turning 52 on the day. Today is National Keith Day and National Lori Day, because why not? Let's celebrate Keith. Let's celebrate Lori. You guys have won the day. You guys have earned the day. If you're a Keith or a Lori, tell folks it is your day, the day to celebrate. It's a holiday. Throw balloons and confetti. Bring out the wine. Eat the cupcakes. It's Keith and Lori Day. Live it up. Live it up. Oh, yeah. A study found humans can have more empathy for dogs than their two-legged friends. Pretty obvious, but we did a study anyway. The research examined whether people were more emotionally disturbed by reports of humans or dogs suffering abuse. Participants in the study were given fictitious news reports about an unprovoked attack with a baseball bat by an unknown assailant. That part's in quotes and was read poorly, part of that. Different versions of the report had the victim of the attack as either a 1-year-old infant or 30-year-old man, a puppy, or an adult dog. Research said study respondents were significantly less distressed when the adult humans were victimized in comparison with the human babies, puppies, and adult dogs. This is something that should be fairly obvious. I know people who, to this day, are still grilling Michael Vick for his issues with the fighting dogs that the rings going on there. People who are really, 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 really still angry with him for that one over all this time with that one after he has gone to jail and paid his students, did all this stuff because of if he was harming dogs. A lot of people who are very angry with that. So this is something that if you did not know this, should not come as such a shock if you know anybody who is really, really into dogs. And of course, there are some people who literally love their pets more than their actual kids and just people in general. So it is something that we should pretty much see. Let's wrap it up today. Monday, November 7th edition of The Things You Might Have Heard. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. Thank you so much for joining us for the festivities today, whether you're watching it live, watching it in replay, or listening to the podcast version in a bit. Thank you so much for being with us and supporting us. Stop by our website, thisisaconversationproject.com, for more ways you can keep things going by visiting the sponsors or the partnership pages there. And just make sure you're following the feeds and engaging. The one thing you can do that is more or less free, except for electricity and maybe your internet bill, is engage with the story so we know what to talk about. Stay hydrated, stay limber, and stay in task so you're around to do great things, because we want you around to do the great things you're here to do. Let's get done with this thing today, and let's see how we do as we prepare. Already posting new stories for tomorrow.